I joke about it. Like some of my videos, more of my videos should be shared because it was. I don't know. It's hilarious. Well, I mean, it's funny for me. It's good for me, I guess, because I'm creator to humanity and this great leader, great inventor of aircraft and stuff and flight and like I'm more real than anyone would realize. That's why they did the Nuremberg trials and stuff like that, trying to besmirch Unit 731. Like any Chinese person would know, any Japan person would know. If you were there in Japan or China, you would know that 731 basically ran China. I mean, they made sure all the rice paddies were farmed. They built roads. They built aqueduct systems. They built whole cities. They were so big they broke off into smaller groups. What's the name? The head of Unit 731 basically ran China, and then at the end of it, he stepped down and allowed the next person to be elected by China. That's why I say, I will never ever 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 question China or Japan's or Korea's commitment to it. I question Nixon and Kennedy and stuff because they should have known. They knew. Germany knew. France knew. Britain knew. Like everybody else, and especially Japan and China, like they knew about this whole big thing. It was only the American people that seemingly don't know or didn't know, and even they should have known about it, because there were Unit 731 learned from Germans and from Americans. I mean, there is a clear line of schooling. You know, this group taught that group. Dr. Mengele or whatever, or the person that he was, you know, he was just one person in a big long chain of research. There were hundreds before him that did research and experiments and stuff like that, and it was all voluntary, of course. I mean, it happened. It wouldn't have happened if it wasn't okay. I mean, I understand that the orders can be lost and stuff like that, but realistically, what you really have is this whole like cover up by Nixon and Kennedy or one of the presidents, where I mean, unless I just got so far so high up in the chain of command that I basically like he disappeared. Anyway, I mean, I'm talking about the constructing of Japan, China, and most of Europe. I mean, I was so high up that most people wouldn't even have known I existed really. So anyway, it's funny though. I mean, it's kind of interesting, but like the propaganda and all the bull about how like Japan or China or Unit 731 was doing biological experiment. And if they kill you, we'll kill you more. It's like no, they were having a disease outbreak of epic proportions. They were researching those mosquitoes because they realized. I mean, Germany was going through the same thing. Cholera, all the diseases were like, oh yeah, there's diseases on this planet. Oh fuck. Like, I mean, America had been fighting malaria. I mean, it's in the history books where work parties were dying like flies, because of malaria. It's just that finally we had started doing some real research into mosquitoes, where they spawn, how to get rid of them, and so Unit 731 was going around putting little bits of oil on top of or finding a way to kill the mosquitoes so they could stop the outbreak. While they were trying to come up with a cure for the disease, which is basically there wasn't one. I mean, it'd take years of figuring out immunity shots and all that to somehow come up with, and researching antibiotics. I mean, this was Unit 731, this was Germany, this was America, This was what is the World Medical Organization as a whole. I mean, like I said, Chinese or Japanese doctors were talking to German doctors, were talking to American doctors, were talking to Russian doctors. They were all working it out because they're watching thousands of people die. They go in and they see these people, like, I mean, the CDC knows about it, like watching someone die from Ebola or one of these other nasty diseases. I mean, the gangrene problem, like everyone had gangrene. Like, I mean, trench foot. Like it wasn't just those soldiers that had trench foot. The workers, the people in those countries just be sloshing through the mud and stuff and trying to figure out. Of course, I mean, it has more to do with the shoe. It's like, take off your shoe. It's like, oh, is that it? I don't know. Anyway, something about that. Anyway, all this stuff was figured out. It's better sometimes not to wear shoes, I guess. Anyway, it's kind of funny. A little bit of technology actually caused the problem. Or something. I don't really know. Because I also mentioned, I was like, well, people have been sloshing around the mud forever. I've had Aborigines. I had Aborigines working for me doing stuff. Still same old thing. Build. And they had never had gangrene, and all of a sudden there's all these gangrene problems and all this other stuff. And it's like, well, maybe if they take off their shoe or something like that, maybe it's, or until we can get the shoe dry. So, I mean, I was me, this massive like entity, massive thing going through time and space, just like a massive ship. Everyone just so. Anyway, yeah. Well, I mean, I was creator to humanity and inventor and everything, so I don't know what to say. I mean, it's just the way it was. I had Aborigines working for me. I had other groups working for me, and they just, and I love them. I tried to make them live as long as possible and try to increase their lifespan as much as possible. I mean. Anyway, so everything is fine. Then we get up to Carter or Nixon or Kennedy and me basically living my little life with my humans. And all of a sudden, someone's like, no, we will do this. It's like, Anyway. Like I said, the Nuremberg trials were basically just, actually what they were supposed to be is just discussing the research and stuff and going over the thing. Well, there was allegations of mistreatment and all that other stuff. Although there wasn't, there was no conclusive findings, and there wasn't really any mistreatment. People were starving, people were dying from disease. That was about it. And I actually wanted the Nuremberg trials more than anyone else. They're like, it's fine. I was like, well, we have to look into it. We have to discuss it. So, and then that's when, Nixon or Kennedy or one of the others was like, someone was like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, So, yeah. Or Trump was like, it's like Trump or one of the presidents is like, wants to do this thing. And it's like, yeah, I've been leading humanity since the Aztecs, and basically led humanity into creating China, Japan, Germany. Like, we built France and America, and and then we get up to the Nuremberg trials and stuff, and it's like, Anyway, yeah. I guess I'm a leader from the future or something like that. I don't really know. I mean, realistically, I was doing it with my people the whole time, so.